Hello all, welcome to Think Automation YouTube channel. If you want to learn more about Qtest, Tosca and other Tricentis product, then this is the right YouTube channel for you. Please hit the subscribe button and share this video to your friends across so that the knowledge will reach to more people. Alright, the topic for the day is file service. How you can enable file service, what are all significant usage of file service, when and where you need to use file service. We will also see how you need to configure this file service from the scratch. Right. Let's go into some of the uh, concepts before going to actual demo. Uh, if I take a look, right. What is mean by file service? File service is nothing but it's a web-based interface, or it is a separate database other than your Tosca commander. So basically, to host your all Tosca artifacts in the backend, you will need a database in the background. It can be Oracle, it can be MS SQL Server, or it can be DB2 and other databases. Predominantly, all the artifacts, including execution log, whatever module you are storing, and whatever the test case that you are creating, all those artifacts will be stored in the Tosca repository. Right. Now, when we come to file service, there will be a dedicated separate database will be there other than your Tosca repository, where you can host your all the attachment, screenshot, and other any manually adding attachment, execution logs, all those stuff. You can maintain it separately other than your Tosca repository. Right. What are all benefits of this file service? This will improve the performance of your overall Tosca commander or Tosca repository. Right. You are not adding any additional artifacts like execution log, screenshot, the Tokusnapa screenshot, whatever you are trying to add to Tosca repository. If you enable file service, it will be added to separate database. So the overall size of the repository will keep intact so that the performance will get improved. And we have something called auto deletion feature in the file service. Suppose if you are executing a same test case for more than a year, but you don't need the execution logs for more than 3 months or 4 months. You are not worried about the log which is happened past 4 months or 5 months. In those situation, you can configure in file service saying that delete data after 90 days or 60 days, whatever you can configure. So those data will get deleted automatically, so that the overall performance of your repository is getting improved. Right. What are all artifacts that we can store in file service? The core artifact like modules, test cases, execution list, all those artifacts will still be stored in your Tosca commander, Tosca repository itself. But the additional artifacts like screenshot, execution logs, any image based module that you are capturing, if you're adding manually adding any attachment to any artifact, it can be to the execution list, you can add some attachment to your requirement, you can add some attachment, or as part of exploratory testing, you can add some of the attachment. All those additionally added attachment will get stored in the file service. Right. Let's go into Tosca Commander and Tosca Server. Meanwhile, we'll see how we need to configure, and we'll see in real time how those files is getting stored in a separate database in file service. Right. The first configuration where you need to start from, you need to install proper Tosca server. So I have already uploaded a video about how to install Tosca server and how to configure from them scratch. Please refer that video. So as per the video, we have already installed and did the configuration for Tosca server. This is the first step you need to do. And the second step, in your Tosca commander, you need to go to project settings, and then you need to give the Tosca server value, the browser URL of your Tosca server, that you need to give it here in your Tricentis services settings. Then only the backend of Tosca commander and Tosca server will get connected. Right. Once you do this, as a next step in your Tosca server, what you need to do, you need to create a project in your Tosca server. How you need to create that? Just come to your administration console. Once you click on administration console, if you already logged in, then it will not ask you credential. If you have not logged in, you will be asked to enter credential. I'm just entering the default credential, but you can enter your own credential over there, right? Once you enter here, either you'll be able to see existing added projects, or if there is no project, you need to add it manually. So here you can see I have already added a project already in my existing video. If you go and refer Tosca server installation, I have already added this project, and as part of Dex configuration, we have already added. Still, I will repeat that. What you need to do if you do not have a project here, you need to come here and you need to click on add project. Once you click on add project, you can enter any name, and you can select your type of repository. I'm going to choose MS SQL just for the thing, and I will be entering something, the valid connection string. You need to enter the valid connection string without the unencrypted format that you need to enter here. Once you enter here, you can just click on this connection. The connection will be valid. After that, you can click on save. Now, if you see that the moment I clicked on save, it will be like this. Okay, and you will see something called file service here. It will be coming as auto removal enabled, something like that. Okay, so just click this again to edit, right? Once you click that, you'll be able to see something called file service and notification service. We'll see about file service. So file service is enabled by default, and there will be something called auto removal is also enabled. So what is this auto removal? As I told area, so you need to, if you need to delete some of the artifacts automatically after 90 days or 120 days, you can enable this feature, and further settings can be do in the Tosca server, right? I'm gonna keep as it is, and the file service is automatically enabled, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on save now. The project is saved now, right? Now I will be going back to the home page of the server, and I will be going to settings. If you come here, the file service in the settings, you'll be able to see the real settings of the file service. If you come here, the file service is in running status and where it is getting stored. You have an option to change the configuration. Basically, the default database for file service is a SQLite database that will be hosted in the Tosca server machine itself, in the local machine. When I say local machine, in the Tosca server itself, and local SQLite will get created, and that will be there in this path, C program data types and this file service. If you want to store multiple artifacts, large number of artifacts in file service, you can always have an option to switch it to MS SQL, and you can create your own MS SQL database, and you can give those connection string details here. However, you are giving while creating repository, workspace and all, you can give the same connection string here for a separate database for the file service, right? And these are all the log path that you have. So as I told you earlier, auto removal is automatically enabled. You can configure, you can come here and configure what is the maximum day that you want to keep it. So by default, it will be 90. You can change it to 5, 10, 60 based on your need. And whenever you want to run this cleanup, those frequency as well, you can keep it. And you can mention all these configuration, how many number of logs should get processed per run, all those information you will be able to configure. Once you configure all these things, you can just click on save, and it will be asked to restart the services in next page. It will be asked to restart the service. Click on OK. Then all the services, all these settings will get stored. Right. So we have configured with the default database now. If you want, I will just repeat, you can configure with MS SQL database as well. Right. Now I'm going with the default one. Let's see how my artifacts from my Tosca commander is automatically saved in the file service database. Right. What I'm gonna do, I'm coming here to my execution list. Right. I have a test case. Basically, what is the test case doing? If you go to the test case, So here is my test case. I'm just opening an URL, Google URL, just searching for ABC, and then manually I'm taking screenshot of tbox take screenshot. If you see here, the storage location, as I mentioned, as a Tosca. So tbox take screenshot will have two options here, actually three options: local, Tosca, and other things as well. So if you come here, you will be able to see these are all the value range: Tosca, local, Tosca, and local. Okay. So what is mean by Tosca? If you select Tosca in the tbox take screenshot, it will store the attachment directly in Tosca, which means it will store the attachment directly in file service. And if you choose local, you need to give the file path where it needs to be stored. For example, these directory and file name, everything you need to give. And if you choose Tosca and local, the attachment will get stored both in file service and the location where you are storing in your local as well. So as of now, for the demonstration purpose, I will keep this as Tosca to store it in file service. Right. So other than that, I will be running this execution list. So I will be getting execution log. So I'm expecting one entry for execution log and one entry for the specific screenshot that I am adding. Two entries I will be expecting in my file service database to get added. Right. So before starting that, I'm just going to the path where is my file service database is configured. So this is the path where the default database is configured. I'm just going to that path now to Tosca server file service. I'm seeing a database is created already by Tosca server, the default database. So I'm just opening this SQLite database, right? So here is my tables inside the file service database. You can see file and file service. Those are all critical. I'm going inside these file revision now. I'm going to check. There are 6 entries in total, and you can see there are some execution logs and there are some screenshot already. So I will be expecting two more entry here. So it will be 8 entry in total once I complete this execution. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trigger the execution from here. So the execution will run now. The execution is happening. So you can see that the execution is now completed in my browser, and the logs came back here now, the recent logs, and you can see that all the 3 steps are captured. Now, as part of the tbox take screenshot, right, we have given the location as Tosca. So what does that mean? It will get stored directly in Tosca itself, right? If you right click that particular test step, you will see an additional option called view screenshots. So if you will not see that in other test steps, you will see only in the take screenshot related test steps when the configuration is set to Tosca instead of local. So we'll see view screenshot. You can view the screenshot directly from here itself. So that's how the file service and the Tosca location is connected. So in the detailed as well, previously if you selected local, you would have seen the local path. So instead of that, you will just see screenshot saved. You can just click on view screenshot to have that view, right? So once you do check in all now, I'm gonna do check in all now. So the moment you do check in all, you will see something called file service upload in your Tosca commander itself. Just wait here, you will see the file service upload finish. So which indicates that your execution logs on all related artifacts are uploaded to file service in addition to your common repository. Which means that these two artifacts will automatically stored in file service and other artifacts will get stored in your common repository. Right, the check-in all is finished now. I'm going to my file service database again. I'm going to refresh this. You see two additional entries are added now, 7 and 8. You can see one is for the screenshot, one is for the actual execution log. So previously these two entries will get added to your Tosca common repository database itself. But now these two entries are getting stored in a different database, file service database, where you can host most number of data artifacts from your Tosca automation, right? As a next step, we'll see how you can enable this file service for your DocuSnapper screenshot. So generally, DocuSnapper screenshot will not work in Dex agent if you have installed in execution only mode. You need to install it in full license mode or full Tosca commander itself to make it work. There are some situations you might have installed in execution only mode, the Dex agent. At those time, these DocuSnapper screenshot will not work properly. To fix that, what you can do, you can enable storage location for DocuSnapper as Tosca so that the file service will take the screenshot and it will get stored automatically. Let's see how we can do. So if you go to your settings in your DocuSnapper, for example, so you see an option called storage location path type here as well. Here you can choose as Tosca. So once you choose Tosca, the DocuSnapper screenshot will get stored in the file service directly itself, and you will have an option to download directly from Tosca. Instead of storing in a separate local path, you will have an option to directly download. How you have downloaded, view the screenshot of the particular step. Like that, you will have an option to download the entire test result itself. So now I have made this option as Tosca, saving this setting now and just closing this. Now I will be doing some same execution, right? Now I'm trying to execute the same execution list now. Let's do a checkout. I'm running this execution list now. Clicking on run, let's close the existing one. The execution is getting started. It will complete in a minute. Let's give it a minute. The execution is getting completed now. Now if you see that, go to the same execution list entry, you'll see an additional log, right? The screenshot, as usual, the screenshot is saved to file service, right? Now if I go to the same execution log, I will have an option to search all, where I click and reference. So you need to click on this search all, and then you need to click on this reference. The moment you click on reference, you can see that there is a execution log for each test step is there, and there is an actual log. In addition to that, you will see an empty Tricentis logo file, which is nothing but attached execution log file. So this is the exact file that we have from the DocuSnapper, right? I'm just gonna open this now. So it will be opened in the Word document where I have this screenshot, DocuSnapper screenshot. Right. That's how you need to enable for your screenshot. You can enable DocuSnapper screenshot using file service. The moment you download, it will be downloaded to your local. By default, it will be in Tosca itself. When you do check in all, it will get uploaded to file service itself, and you will see an additional entry in your file service database as well. Right. Now you can ask me a question saying that. I have not configured file service for a while. So I did some 100 test cases. After completing these 100 test cases only, I came to know there is something called file service which we can implement. What you can do in those cases? So file service is allowing us to migrate our existing artifacts from your Tosca common repository to file service. What you can do, you can click on any folder level. You will see an option called migrate to file service, either at a component folder level, or if you click any module, you will see something called option migrate to file service. Even in this execution list itself, once you do check in all, or now itself we can see migrate to file service. If any local artifacts is stored, then if you click on this option, then all the artifacts from Tosca commander repository to file service, which will get transferred automatically when you do this migration activity, right? So you can also ask me one more question. At some point in time, what can I do if I want to turn off this feature? Okay, turn off this file service feature itself. There is no option you can do it from Tosca server itself. There is no option either from here or in the administration console where you enable that added project and enable file service, right? There is no option there. But if you come to your project root folder of the Tosca commander, okay, you will see an option called disable file service. So here only you can disable the file service. And once you do that, you will have an option instead of migrate to file service, you will have an option called migrate from file service. That will do migration from the file service to your local repository database. So that's how you can switch back between file service with the local with the file service. You can enable, disable the file service. That's how you need to configure your file service. You need to implement overall. We'll see other service related videos in the upcoming videos like notification service, TDS, all those stuff. Please hit the subscribe button and share this video to your friends across so that we'll reach to more people. Thank you all.